So first of all, I had a question for you. So at what point did you actually decide, okay, enough's enough, I'm going to go and have a look at it?
I think on my first or second day in Canarese.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was there with Ricky, and obviously the first thing he said when we passed by, like he showed me the line, and he said, "Yeah, that's something you should try."
Yeah, you always pointed out
it's
that
like, and we just spent like the whole day just cragging, climbing, and somehow I already still had like the line in my mind. And I remember the evening, I just ran back to the car, took a static line, and I rapped down. And yeah, at the beginning it felt really, really impossible. And
I can imagine.
I think it was a really cool process because it kind of like witnessed my journey to trad climbing. Like I remember at the beginning, I thought that the route won't be a problem to free climb.
Yeah.
But it would be like super dangerous. It was impossible to protect. And then with the time, I realized that the problem was the opposite. Yeah, exactly. It was the climbing, and the gear was not so bad.
Ironically, for being thought of what is potentially the hardest trad route in the world, it's actually a route that's way better suited to like a super good sport climber or a boulderer, because the protection is relatively simple and relatively easy to brace.
You place it always from good holds. So.
But at the same time, you do need to be comfortable on gear.
Yeah.
When I first started trying it, I felt like the upper boulder was much harder than the lower one. And when it actually came down to linking them all together, the top boulder started to feel okay in isolation, and the bottom boulder never felt any easier.
Really? Okay.
But for me, the real key to do it on lead was to stop worrying too much about the top and just went for it as quick as I could.
Just try.
Exactly.
Yes.
Instead of expecting something.
Or you're not thinking, well, I got this wrong and now I made a mistake.
Super hard to learn. Super hard to learn. It's a route that it's so hard to actually, I don't think you can ever be sure.
Yeah, I think it's a route that is really hard to control, or I can say like even if you feel super good on every move, you can always fall off.
Yeah.
When I started to do some really good goes, I was so focused on the upper boulders that sometimes I just fell off.
Fell on the bottom.
On the bottom, yeah.
It was the same. I guess it's really hard for people that have never done that to understand. But it's so crazy how different it is doing an FA and doing a first repeat.
Yeah, somehow yes, because you know that it's already possible. It makes everything not easier, but it's just different.
Yeah.
Different. And for me, I remember somehow I knew that it was possible, but I didn't have the proof because I couldn't do the last move.
Just faith.
And yeah, I don't know why I kept on trying. It was really hard to break that barrier of like try to lead it.
Yeah.
And once I started to lead it, then everything became a little bit easier.
But stepping into the unknown is sometimes scary. But it's the only way if you want to move forward.
You wanted to do something new, yeah, that's true.
It's, 'cause it's so hard to actually, I don't think you can ever be sure. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so different. Yeah. It's so hard to learn. 'Cause it's so diff So when you actually finally climbed the route, I think everybody who is interested in trad climbing, for the day that you did it and was waiting for this, you know, big announcement of the world's first 9 whatever, and you basically decided not to grade it. How come you personally decided to do that?
For me, it wasn't simply a route; it was really like a process. And when people like started to just speculating about the grade, it was the first thing they were asking to me. Like I didn't like it. I really couldn't stand the idea of just reduce the entire process to a number, and that's why I decided not to grade it. And I think climbing is not about that. So
it shouldn't be. It's sad that it's come to that. I totally agree with your approach to it. Not to mention that I'm probably the world's worst grader. I definitely have my own little histories there to think about. But in general, I just don't think it's that important. For me, it's the hardest sequence of moves I've ever done on a trad route. And you know, that means something to me, but that's all it really needs to be said for me. It's just, it was a great experience. It was a route that I wasn't sure I'd be able to do, and I managed to find a way to put it all together. And mainly, it was a route that really shouldn't work on trad, but it does. There's just enough to make it possible, and that's
special.
That's what's so important about this route. And I don't want to get into this discussion because it takes focus off just how magical the route is, and the route really deserves to be praised for that reason, and that reason alone.
I'm happy that you share my same vision.
Yeah, if only more people thought the same. Well, they will. People will see the light.
Woohoo! Okay, Carol, I'm good here for a bit. I'm good, I'm going to rest for a bit.